Now let's focus on recovery. So let's start with the ESE agent, and I'm going to go straight to the recovery tab. And then, of course, I can drill down to any point in time and choose a historical date and time for recovery. Then I can browse the file system on that particular date, choose some files, and then hit restore. And then I can choose whether I want to restore to the original location, or in this case, I'm going to restore to a restore folder. Perfect. It's as simple as that. But what happens if I need to restore in the event of a disaster? So let's go to the Red app. Let's go to one of my customers and go to big screen broadcasting. And we're going to go into their machines area and then into servers. And then finally, I've got a list of devices from that company that are backing up. Now, this system here is currently protecting 208 gig, and I need access to that data temporary. So I'm going to click on the three little dots and then choose to download InstantData for that server. Now that I've got access to the Redstor InstantData tool, I'm going to choose temporary access to files and then hit next. Then I'll need to supply the valid encryption key that was used to encrypt that data with the Redstor service. Then I can choose to either mount all of my backups, or in this case, I'm going to mount the last successful backup of that 208 gig, and I'm going to map it as a Z drive. As you can see on the right-hand side, my computer is now showing a Z drive, and it's now easy for me to navigate that Z drive, look at the last successful backup at 7 o'clock the following day. I can see it's backing up a network drive and the C drive and an L drive, and of course then I can drive into the file system and navigate into my file server area, choose one of my users, and then access their data. In this example, no data is being transferred back and forth between Redstor until I access a file. So let's go and access this PDF. And there we go, we've just accessed that file. But what, for example, if you needed to recover all of that 208 gig back to a new server? Obviously, recovering data across the internet can take time depending on the speed of your internet connection. So let's use InstantData to help with the recovery. So again, I'm going to load InstantData recovery, and this time I'm going to choose the default option, which is permanent file recovery. This means I want to permanently recover the data from the Redstor cloud back to the device that I'm running InstantData on, in this case on my work laptop. So let's hit next. Let's put in the encryption key again. So now that the InstantData permanent recovery has downloaded and installed, I can again, as usual, see all of the historical dates and times that I can recover from. And I'm going to plus out my L drive and see all of the data which I wish to restore back to my local device. So I've created a folder in my Explorer called Demo, and I want to drag and drop the data that I want to recover back to this currently empty folder. So let's go and drag my Exchange database. Let's drag my file server with all of my users and their historical data. Let's also drag my SQL, and let's also drag this Windows 10 ISO image. So if we look at the bottom of the screen, we're now recovering 20 gig of data. And at the moment, we're just approaching 1% of the restore. However, if we have a look in my demo target, and I, for example, go into my file server area, and again, I choose one of my users that I wish to access their files, I will see what looks like a completed restore. But again, if we check the statistics on the bottom left-hand corner, we've only recovered 2.5% of the 20 gig. However, that's not going to stop me accessing the files. So if you look here, this video, which is 0.5 meg in size, is not yet on my hard drive. So if I try to open this file in an application, Redstor will prioritize the video, giving the user or the application the file that they requested. And in the meantime, the recovery will just happen in the background. The final method of recovering servers is a full system disaster recovery. Let's click Next. And let's supply a valid encryption key. And this is where, again, I can choose any historical date and time. I can choose where I would like to recover this machine. So I can recover this as a bog standard virtual disk for Hyper-V or VMware. I can orchestrate the restore via VMware vSphere. I can restore the machine, whether it was physical or virtual, into Microsoft Azure. Or I could recover back to physical hardware using our bare metal recovery scripts. In this case, I'm going to choose a virtual disk, and again, I can choose whether it's a VHDX for Hyper-V or a VMDK for VMware. In this case, I'm going to go for a VHDX, and then I just need a location where I wish to recover this machine. So in this case, this system is 208 gig. However, if it was a domain controller, I might just want to get the C drive to speed up the recovery. So I'm going to choose to configure the volume settings and hit Next. And then I'm going to remove disk 2, which is 136 gig, reducing my restore just to 71 gig for disk 1, which is the C drive. So let's hit Next. And it's that simple to recover a physical or a virtual machine back to Hyper-V, VMware, bare metal, or into Azure. Thanks ever so much for watching.